It's Redmont Rangers versus Watford in the Championship in today's episode, which means potentially the return of Jake Dale to Redmont Arena. It's episode 51 of the Redmont Rangers Road to Glory career mode here on EAFC 24. Let's get into it. So another difficult episode as we continue our first campaign here in the Championship. We're starting out with a game against Watford, which is going to be a tough one, I would have to imagine. We are at home for the first time this season at Redmont Arena, so this would be the game that we play today. We will then follow that up with two games, one against West Brom and then one against Stoke City, both of which we will be quick simming. The most important thing about the game against Watford is that Jake Dale potentially is going to return. I haven't checked the pre-match report just yet, but we did sell our star striker, stalwart of the club, to Watford last January for about just short of 4 million. And so we'll see if he's starting for them, whether he's on the bench. Watford did come down from the Premiership last season. So a disappointing stint for Jake Dale, but he did get his half season up in the top flight. Which is going to have been good for him for sure as he approaches the tail end of his career. This is going to be the team that we're running with today. Strongest 11, basically. It's the game that we, or it's the team rather, that we have run out with in the last couple of episodes. So nothing too dissimilar there. Everything to be expected. And let's jump into this pre-match report and see if Jake Dale is on the team sheet, which he isn't. Not in the starting lineup anyway. But we can see he is on the bench there. So Jake Dale potentially make an appearance off the bench for Watford at some point. A 3.5-star team, 74 defence, 72 midfield and 73 attack. They're going to play a 4-4-3 holding. Like Bournemouth in the last episode, they are going to gegenpress. But as we saw in the last episode, Bournemouth, I mean, gegenpressing I guess technically, but from a very deep area of the field. They didn't set up too far up the field. They were content to sit back and just kind of press us when we got into their final third, which I wouldn't really say is gegenpressing. And that allowed us to dominate possession, really, and get the win eventually through that Daniel Jefferson goal. So we'll see how Watford line up, whether they're going to press more aggressively and higher up the pitch than Bournemouth did, and whether that's going to cause us any problems. Kits look good. Starting lineup looks good. So let's jump into it. So for the second episode in a row, I would say 4 points is probably going to be a good tally. We did manage to get that in the last episode with a victory over Bournemouth and then a draw against Sheffield United. We did lose to Middlesbrough. But I think with games against Watford and West Brom in particular, if we can come away with 4 points again from today's episode, we're going to have to be happy with that tally. Something I haven't shown yet is the board objectives. I've forgotten to do that the last couple of episodes, so potentially we'll go over those after this game. But the board do just want us to fight for promotion this year, which I would assume means make the playoffs. So as long as we can kind of keep pace with the top 6 to 8, maybe 10 teams in the league over the course of the season, I think we're going to be in the right kind of position to meet that board objective and to meet our own objective, which obviously is to get promoted this season. An automatic promotion place obviously would be ideal, but I'm more than happy to achieve that through the playoffs if needed. So we can already see Watford pressing much higher than Bournemouth did in the previous game. That is going to make them tough to deal with, but it is also going to potentially open up space in behind. Some poor touch from Keane Lewis-Potter. Looked like he had a bit of space to work with there if he could bring that ball down. But unfortunately, the touch was a heavy one, and it just gave the ball back to Watford. I do hope we see Jake Dale at some point today. Oh, and it's a poor pass I think from Jamie Shackleton. I might have to change Shackleton or Lowry's boots because they're fairly hard to tell apart in midfield there. It's Alex Lowry's hair that really sets him apart. It is longer, but you can't always see that just at a glance. And their boots are slightly different, but not different enough. Their numbers even very similar. Lowry is 18, Shackleton is 19. So I might just give Jamie Shackleton some white boots just to really set them apart from Alex Lowry's orange boots. Good turn from Daniel Jebison, but it's a good challenge from the Watford defender. He did send Daniel Jebison flying, but it was a good challenge. He did get the ball. So not too many complaints there. Jamie Shackleton does well to do the same and win the ball back. Plays the ball in behind for Keane Lewis-Potter. He tries to cross, but it's just kind of deflected off the backside of the Watford player. Bali Mumba drives into the box. Pulls across, back across goal. Alex Lowry in there trying to turn the ball towards goal. It was a good initial stop by the goalkeeper. He did parry the ball out into a dangerous area though, but it didn't quite fall for Alex Lowry or Redmont Rangers. Positive start to the game though. Like in the last episode against Bournemouth, we have created a chance or two early on here. And Watford doing well just to keep possession. They're pulling our players out of position as we try and press and win the ball back. But very secure in possession are Watford, and they've managed to get the ball into a crossing position here. Instead, they just pull it back and drive into the box. A fantastic block from Jesse Cartwright, though. He's made a habit of that already this season. He's just always in the right place at the right time. And he's got a big frame. Difficult to get the ball past him. It will be a cross for Watford, though. They go short with it. And Alex Lowry and Bali Mumba will press the ball out wide. Watford work it inside, though. It's a good strike. And it's a shot that's on target. Roman Hewitt equal to it, though. Pushes it out for another Watford corner. It's quite a nice Watford away kit, to be fair, with the burgundy and the... what is that, like a gunmetal, I guess? Kind of a creamy grey. I like it a lot. Jesse Cartwright in there. Roman Hewitt deals with it, though. Claims the ball incredibly well in amongst bodies. And Alex Petit will come away with it on the right-hand side here, trying to catch Watford napping, but doesn't manage to do so. Just gives it straight back to them. And Watford already feel like a much bigger challenge than Bournemouth. Bournemouth, the whole star, better than Watford, apparently. Bournemouth were a 4-star, or a 4.5-star, I believe. I feel like I might have got that wrong. That feels too high. Might have to go back and check the footage on that and double check whether they were a 4.5-star. But I'm sure I remember them being 4.5 stars when I looked at the pre-match report. Oh, and Cliver, who we saw in that game against Bournemouth, making the move to Burnley. So a return to the Premier League for Justin Clivert. He didn't even start for Bournemouth against us. He came off the bench. But he is a talented player for sure. And a player that we have looked at in this career mode. Not really with an eye to signing him too soon, but more so as a player just to keep an eye on in case... Oh, that's a great cross in. Alex Petit lurking towards the back post. Alex Lowry strikes towards goal. See, I think that was Jamie Shackleton. I said Alex Lowry. So difficult to tell them apart. Yeah, Justin Clivert, a player who I just kind of added to the shortlist with the intention of keeping an eye on him and how he develops and potentially putting in an offer for him if and when we do manage to get to the Premiership. Obviously very much out of our league at the moment. 32 million a price we have absolutely no chance of being able to pay anytime soon. Oh, good persistent play from Lewis Potter there. Gave the ball away, but won it back almost immediately. And plays a great ball over to Alex Petit. Takes it down on his chest. Strikes with his left foot. And it was on target, but it was straight at the goalkeeper. Really good play from Redmont Rangers there. The two wingers linking up. Two new wingers this season. Lewis Potter on loan from Brentford. Alex Petit, a youth academy product who was out on loan last year. Cut back inside towards Alex Petit from Josh Key. And it's Alex Lowry who strikes this time. And it falls harmlessly wide. He struggled to get it going so far this season, Alex Lowry. It's not been the best start to his Redmont Rangers career. I do have faith in him, though. He will certainly continue to play. The same overall as Michael Garbett, though. As I've said a couple of times now, it was the play styles that I was most interested in when pursuing Alex Lowry. 5 play styles. He's got Trivela, he's got incisive pass, he's got pinged pass. But Michael Garbett very much still in my plans for this season, so if Alex Lowry does continue to struggle, we do have that option in Michael Garbett available. Alex Petit doing a really good job of working the ball down the line and getting the cross in. We just needed a first-time effort from Daniel Jebison there. Instead, he took it down on his chest. Could have cut it back, could have hit it first time. Instead, he just drives it into the side netting. Lewis Potter being dragged inside there as Watford just played the ball across their back line. We don't want to get too narrow against this side. Oh, and Lewis Potter sets Barley Mumba away on the left-hand side here. Daniel Jebison making a run across the back line there. But dealt with well by the Watford defence. Potentially Barley Mumba could have driven forward with the ball a little longer before he released it to Daniel Jebison. But it looked for a moment as if he might be in a position to punish the Watford defence. And it's well worked by Watford as they get into the Redmont Rangers box. Jesse Cartwright comes over. He's going to relinquish the baton to Barley Mumba. Good touch from the Watford player in the box, but Jesse Cartwright eventually manages to intercept the ball and clear. We do a good job of defending fairly deep, just on the edge of our box. We get very deep, very compact. And with those 3 central defenders, it is so difficult for opposition teams to find any space to thread the ball through. Well won from Burke Reeser, and Jamie Shackleton picks the ball up. Puts it inside to Alex Lowry. He's got space to strike, and it's a poor one in the end. Maybe just trying to force the issue a little bit too much now. I think by this stage of the season, he probably feels like he hasn't had the best start. So just trying to make something happen, but ends up sending the shot over the bar. Another big header from Jesse Cartwright. Can't find Daniel Jebison with it, though. Good pressing from Alex Petit. And Jamie Shackleton coming over to help Josh Key out. Alex Lowry picks the ball up. Gives it away in midfield. Is that an injury for Healy? I believe Healy is the Watford striker. So it's going to be interesting to see whether they need to make a change. I would imagine Jake Dale would be the player to come on if Healy does have to come off. So potentially we could be seeing our former striker sooner than expected. Josh Key does well there just to stand his ground and step across the Watford player. Jebison into Lowry, who sets Alex Petit away. That's really good one-touch football. And Alex Lowry wants the ball back, and Alex Petit can't find him. It was a really, really good move, but the youngster just overhit the pass there. He just needed to tap it inside to Alex Lowry. But perhaps adrenaline took over. He put far too much on it. Oh, and Bali Mumba's taken a bad touch there, and he's allowed the Watford player the ball. Good ball from Lewis Potter into Daniel Jefferson, though. He sets Bali Mumba away, and we've got space now. Bali Mumba cuts inside, lays it off to Daniel Jefferson, who just held back. He made a run initially, but just held back on the edge of the box there, and Bali Mumba not quite on the same page as Daniel Jefferson, and the chance comes to nothing. So 0-0 at half-time between Redmont Rangers and Watford. It's been a fairly lively first half. Two evenly matched teams. And Watford actually have had 63% possession and twice as many passes as us. It really doesn't feel like the game has played out that way. But, I mean, the stats don't lie. Oh, and that's a bad challenge. The Watford right back lunging in as Keane Lewis Potter turned to break away down the line there. And we'll see what the referee has to say about this. It is just a yellow card for Jeremy Ngakia. Probably is the correct decision. Not quite bad enough for a red, but certainly a challenge that needed to be punished. And Healy, we can see, is still injured. It's still possible that he could run the injury off, since it did happen so late in the first half. He might not have just had the time to run the injury off yet, so doesn't necessarily mean a change has to be made. I imagine the change would have been made at half-time if it was an injury that he wasn't able to run off. So perhaps we're not going to see Jake Dale just yet. I do want to try and win this game. I said I would be happy enough with 4 points. I don't want to rely on getting a win in simulation, though. And this is a home game for us, so I do want to try and press the issue a little bit in this second half and try and get the victory against Watford. I'm not sure that we'll be able to beat West Brom away from home, but I'm a little more confident that we might be able to get something against Stoke City, so wouldn't be the worst result if we did get a draw here. Oh, and Bali Mumba made a good run. Keane Lewis Potter unable to release the ball quickly enough, though, and that's poor from Burke Reesa. We need to make a more conservative pass from that position. He was just trying to thread the ball through 3 Watford players, really. And he would have been better served just trying to lay it off to Jesse Cartwright, who was in the area in support. Oh, it's a poor pass from Alex Lowry. I think we're going to bring him off when the ball goes out of play. He's had another bad game. And his disappointing start to his Redmont Rangers career continues. So I think Michael Garbutt's going to make an appearance before too long. Bali Mumba on the overlap. He's got plenty of space to cross. Finds Alex Petit at the back post. But it's a great, great header from the Watford defender to clear. Jamie Shackleton fighting for the ball in midfield there. Unable to win it back. Still persisting, though, and does manage to win it back eventually. Alex Petit chips it into Daniel Jefferson, who knocks it down for Keane Lewis Potter, and it's a fantastic save, but the ball has bounced into the net anyway. Keane Lewis Potter, it looks like, is going to be credited with the goal. I'm not so sure upon review if the league will allow Keane Lewis Potter to keep that goal. Really well knocked down from Daniel Jefferson into the path of Keane Lewis Potter, who struck the ball. A fantastic save from the goalkeeper, and it does actually come off the foot of Keane Lewis Potter. It looked for a moment as if it had bounced off the defender who was running in to clear, but it was Lewis Potter who made first and last contact with the ball there. I will, as I said, bring Michael Garbutt on for Alex Lowry. That would be the only change you make at this stage, though. Oh, and it looked like actually it did go down as an own goal. for Ngakia. So that's a shame. Lewis Potter was celebrating as if it was his goal. And it looked on the replay there as if it was his goal. But it looks like it's going to be credited, unfortunately, for Ngakia to the defender. So we'll see how aggressive Watford get now as they chase the game. Good ball from Barley Mumba into the channel for Lewis Potter to chase. It's a bad touch from the Watford defender and he's in trouble here. And Lewis Potter steals it away. Clips it back to Michael Garbett. He tries to find a bit of space to shoot. Eventually he does find it and it's a good reaction save from the goalkeeper. It was a good strike from Michael Garbett. Just carved out a bit of room for himself on the edge of the box. And struck towards goal. It is a change for Watford, but it's not Jake Dale. Barley Mumba's going to put this cross in. And Michael Garbett is in there challenging for the header. Doesn't win it. And Josh Key will just... I was going to say Josh Key will give away the free kick, but actually he wins a free kick there. So I was happy enough just to quell the counter-attack there, but it's actually a chance to put the ball into the box. It's a good ball in. A dangerous area, but it does just fall harmlessly out for a goal kick. I think Samson Tavide will make an appearance in this game as well at some point. Daniel Jebison, the player to make way for him. Good challenge from Jeremy Ngakia. He's had an up and down game. He was booked in the first half. He scored an own goal, but he's defended well at times. Great ball from Lewis Potter into Barley Mumba. Pulls it back to Daniel Jebison, who can't strike before the ball is cleared. That was really good play from Redmont Rangers down that left-hand side, though. And Josh Key's going to be able to drive into the box this time. And shepherded out of play by the Watford defender, but it will be another corner. It'll be played short to Alex Petit this time. Laid off to Barley Mumba, who now lifts it into the box. Burke Reesa wanted the ball at the back post, but cleared by the Watford defender before he could get his head on it. Really composed play by the Watford defenders there. Alex Petit almost stealing the ball away regardless. Oh, and well worked from Watford down this right-hand side, and Ngakia can come away with it. He's got Barley Mumba for company. And again, we just defend so deep and so compact in those areas. We get players behind the ball so quickly. Lewis Potter with a big switch of play to Josh Key, who'd made the run all the way up from right back. Michael Garbett's in the box. What a save that is. A really good header from Michael Garbett back across goal. And another change for Watford, but still no appearance from Jake Dale. I think I might actually make a change or two myself here. I'm going to bring Samson Tavide on and also Eli Just so we've got fresh legs up front so we can continue pressing. A fairly quiet day from Daniel Jebison. Barley Mumba again puts the ball in. Eli Just will recycle it, but it's going to be a free kick to Watford. Unfortunately, Barley Mumba shaping to cross again, but the referee blows his whistle. Well won from Michael Garbett in midfield, and Samson Tavide brings the ball down, lays it off for Alex Petit. He's going to drive towards the Watford byline, but there's nobody in the area to cross it to just yet. Finds Josh Key, lifts it into the box. Michael Garbett again challenging there. He's surprisingly good in the air for a centre midfielder, Michael Garbett. We saw that earlier, but the goalkeeper equal to his header. I really didn't talk enough about that save when it was made. It was a really, really good one. And we could potentially have doubled our lead there. But the Watford goalkeeper keeping his team in the game. Oh, and what a good challenge from behind. Samson Tavide shaping to play a ball in behind. But the ball just nabbed away by the Watford defender. And cut out by Jamie Shackleton. Eli Just now cuts inside, strikes towards goal. Is blocked by the Watford player, potentially by an arm. But no whistle from the referee. A good challenge again from Burke Reese. Eli Just sets the ball to Alex Petit. Lays it off for Josh Key, who's going to drive again towards the Watford box. Michael Garbutt is in there. Another good piece of defensive play from Watford, though, as they stop the cross from coming in. Caleb Taylor, who I haven't even mentioned yet today, defends well. The referee trying to play advantage there for Redmont, but pulls it back for a free kick, since we did have to go all the way back to Roman Hewitt there. Still no appearance. Oh, Jake Dale has come on. We didn't see him come on there, but he is on the pitch. Number 26, Jake Dale, with the blue boots. Good run from Michael Garbutt. Good effort from Jamie Shackleton to find him. So hopefully Jake Dale doesn't come back to haunt us here. He's only on the pitch for about 10 minutes or so. 15 maybe in total. So not too much time for him to make an impact on the game. And we're going to hope that he can't. We'll see what kind of reception he gets at full time as well, Jake Dale, and whether he does make a lap of the pitch to show his appreciation for the Redmont Rangers fans who support him so well during his time at the club. He definitely didn't leave with any animosity. It was a really good offer from Watford. £4 million for a club like Redmont is nothing to sniff at. And it was an opportunity for Jake Dale to play in the Premier League as well. At 30 years of age, he's probably not going to get too many more opportunities to do that. So we couldn't really deny him that opportunity. We're going to make our last couple of changes here. We're going to bring Joe Powell on for his debut. And we're going to bring Oscar Duarte on for Bali Mumba as well, as the ball goes out for a Watford throw-in. Or it's actually going to be a free kick. Not sure whether that's ours or theirs. It's Watford's free kick. Just a one-man wall is going to be fine. I'd rather have Oscar Duarte in that area to clear. And Eli Just, the only player able to chase Ngakia down, and Ngakia's up and down game continues as Eli Just steals the ball away from him and fires it into the roof of the net. And it is a 2-0 Redmont Rangers lead now, and surely another 3 points on the board. Jeremy Ngakia with a disastrous game. Booked in the first half, scored an own goal, gave the ball away for the second. Calm, composed finish from Eli Just. Really given Hans Newman something to think about in terms of his place in the side. Alex Petit, the younger player, the player with more upside, the player we are looking to develop this season. But Eli Just, he scored 2 goals already, and he looks dangerous every time he steps onto the field for us, so we certainly can't forget about him. So we've made... There's been a couple of new additions to the side, to be fair. Keane Lewis-Potter, Alex Petit, Alex Lowry. But it's incumbent Redmont Rangers players who are really making the difference this season. Michael Garbutt and Eli Just playing as well as anybody. And Eli Just could be in for a second goal here. The goalkeeper comes out and he smothers the ball. Eli just trying to take it under control. It was bouncing awkwardly. And he's frustrated that he wasn't able to get a second goal there. Michael Garbutt again with space to shoot, and he strikes it, and it's another good save by the goalkeeper. One that you would expect him to make. But it was a shot on target from Michael Garbutt. And that's about all you could ask for from a position like that. You just have to test the goalkeeper. If you ask the question, more often than not, as he did there, the goalkeeper will reply. But every now and again, there'll be a mistake. Jake Dale hardly has touched the ball then in these last 10 minutes or so since he's come on. Very little opportunity to make a difference at all in the game. And there goes the full-time whistle. So a return to Redmont Arena for Jake Dale, but a fairly inconspicuous one. A token cameo appearance from the bench in the last 10 minutes of the game. And it wasn't his current side that scored when he came on, but his former side. Eli just extending the lead and securing the 3 points for Redmont. So again, we said 4 points is the total that we're aiming for from this episode, and there's 3 of them already right there. So we just need a draw from our games against West Brom and Stoke to meet that objective. We do have some fairly lengthy gaps between these 2 next games, so we shouldn't be forced into any changes. And we do actually have the transfer deadline. It's probably going to be a quiet one, so I'll probably just work through it very quickly here. We can see West Ham strengthening their side. Jesus moving from Arsenal to Everton is an interesting one. 45 million. Leeds also splashing the cash with the 45 million transfer. I imagine we're probably going to get offers for our players. A loan to buy offer there for Jerry Dorset. But I think the squad is set. We don't need to add any players. We still do have 3 million in the transfer budget, but I would like to save that for January just in case we do need to strengthen, in case we need to bring in cover for any injuries and things like that. And the squad is about as bare bones as it can be, really. We've got our starting 11, we've got our bench, and then we've got 3 reserve players. A defender, a centre midfielder, and a winger. So we can't really afford to allow anybody to leave. We don't really need to bring anybody in. So an uneventful transfer deadline does pass. We have got our youth scouts out on the hunt for youth players again this season. We still do have the same 3 youth scouts that we have been using so far. We could do with an upgrade at some point. We don't have 5-star youth scouts. I'm going to take a look at that guy. I'm not sure he's going to be particularly good, but he seems worth adding just on the off chance. So when we do have a bit more disposable income, that is going to be something that we look to do. Elliot Barnett looks probably the best of those players. We do also have a message from a player as well. Lewis Baker wants to start. He does have an important squad role, just because the squad is so thin and so small. So a 55 and a 56 overall, both with 94 as the top end of their potential. Both 17 years old. Probably nothing there, to be honest, with those 2 central midfielders, but it doesn't hurt to add them to the youth academy just to see. So potentially I will put in Baker ahead of Alex Lowry for this game. I'm going to start O'Hora. I'm going to give Baxter a start in this game as well. And I think Eli Just can come in ahead of Alex Petit, and we'll put Brendan Clark on the bench for this game as well. So we're going to quick sim this one against West Brom. We are 3 points ahead of them. We're in second place behind Bournemouth. Hull City just behind. Swansea City also on 13 points. So very close and congested at the top of the table. Josh Madger up front for West Brom. And so we'll see what we can get from this game at the Hawthorns. And it's a 2-1 victory for Redmont Rangers. So we have exceeded that 4-point total. 6 points already in the episode with 2 wins. One against... How have I forgotten who we've just played? Watford. One against Watford. And then another win against West Brom as well. Daniel Jebison again. tallying a goal. Barley Mumba with his second of the season as well. Swansea with a win. It's the only important result that I saw in there just as a quick glance. Did we feel nervous towards the end? We gave ourselves something to hang on to. Were we confident we come out on top? We defended really well. And then what did we do differently today? We pride ourselves on resilience. We always get that question. You won last time and you won this time. What did you do differently? Nothing. We won. Lewis Baker is happy that we put him in the side, which is good. And we have a game against Stoke City to round out the episode here. So again, we're going to have to make some changes in terms of the wingers here. Brendan Clark can come in and start this game. Baker can drop out. Michael Garbutt's going to get the start here, though. And then Taylor can come back in. Hewitt can come back in. And I think we'll put Dorset on the bench. And that will be the team for Stoke City. So a 5-3-2 for Stoke City. Nothing too interesting in their starting lineup there, other than they have a Captain Pereira who has a generated face, so potentially a Youth Academy product for them. And it's another victory. Again, Daniel Jebison on the score sheet. And Alex Petit, I don't remember starting him, but apparently I did. Also getting on the score sheet, Bournemouth just draw. So potentially, with 3 wins out of 3 in this episode, potentially we could end the episode top of the table. We get much better results in our simulated games this season than we did last season. And again, I really think the player morale and team morale is going to make a big difference there. It's something that I really underestimated in the last couple of seasons, but it does seem to make such a big difference, not just to your job security, but also to the results that you get in Quick Sim. Because when player morale was low, I was barely managing to win a game. At best, I could hope for a draw. We've had some fantastic results in Quick Sim already so far this season, so we do find ourselves top of the league. Swansea hot on our tails, though. Only goal difference sets us apart from Swansea, but we can see that it is our fantastic defence that has really set the bar for us this season. Only 4 goals conceded in 8 games, so 0.5 goals a game being conceded is very, very good. So if you can just score a goal, you're going to win if you have 0.5 goals a game being conceded. So really, really good start to the season. We'll check out the calendar and see who we've got in the next episode. We've got an away game against Coventry. We've got a home game against Preston. And then an away game against Norwich City. So I do live in Norwich. That's going to be the game that I play in the next episode. A trip to Carrow Road against the Canaries. A bit of an easier episode, though. Finally, the fixtures lighten up just a little bit. I feel like every episode has been so tough so far. In terms of the opponents anyway, maybe not in terms of the results that we've been getting, but in terms of the opponents, just on paper, they've been so tough. But a couple of games that we should really be winning here against Coventry and Preston, and then a bit of a tougher test away at Norwich. So we'll get into that in the next episode. I hope to see you there, and take it easy.